Good afternoon. Welcome back. So we are going to continue with where we left off. In case you want to take a minute to submit and finish up the quiz, please do so that we can start off from where we left.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I think you can continue with the quiz once after the class also. In case you want to, you can attempt it from your mobiles and tablets. And you can submit it, and please ensure that you give the email ID correctly so that you get the answers, and the scores also will be sent across to all of you. Now to continue from where we left off in the last class. So we were discussing about the importance of brands to firms. We had discussed about reducing risk, why branding is required, because it reduces risk perception in the product decisions made by customers. And so there were various types of risks that we have discussed, ranging from functional risk of the product to the physical risk that products or the brands might or might not pose, the financial risk, the social risk, the psychological risk, and the time risk. The other thing which is happening is that brands do have certain importance to firms also, in addition to what they stand for in terms of the consumer's aid to the choice and preference. So for companies, the brands are certain valuable pieces of legal property. They are an asset, an intangible set of assets. And the brands from a company actually is the key thing which influences consumer behavior, right? So consumer behavior, how consumers, which could be organizations or the final end users, they acquire, they procure things of use or services that they require, and which is of use and benefit to them. So the entire process of acquiring, procuring, using, consuming the entire set of products and services is all that is there in the domain of consumer behavior. So of course you have retail consumer behavior, and also you'll have organizational buying behavior as well. So earlier it used to be called as industrial marketing, then it is known as the business to business marketing. And when you're selling products or services directly for the end users of people, that is known as the retail aspect of the business, which is known as the consumer behavior, right? And so therefore the brands that a company has, a brand or a set of brands, like we saw for the case of HUL, which is a house of brands, or Tanishq, which is a brand which encompasses a lot of the jewelry products. Brands actually will be something which provides security in terms of sustained future revenues. And when we see the important firms, that's where I think you will like to recall that brands do have certain financial valuation, which is not really done by the companies per se themselves for their own brands, but it is also about a market perception of what the brand value stands in the market in terms of how much of customer equity it is able to master, or it is able to kind of command in is well, Uh, of We where do you really go and market yourself? So it is very important to understand what type of media should you be using. So what type of media? Electronic media can be there, print media, right? So you will have print media options, so many print media, whether it is newspapers, magazines, internet, right? All of these things are there. So it creates a lot of challenge. So companies have to decide how best a combo of media plans to be made and used, right? And then you will have increased competition. Competition from whom? Competition from other marketers, isn't it? Competition from other companies also. So you will have also other competition from other competitors, right? So what is the competition here? You will have other companies trying to sell similar products or services, right? And that will create a lot of increased cost if you're not able to scale your operation, right? So cost management will become an issue. So you will have to think about value chain activities, which you can be making it more efficient, right? You will also have to think about how to have balanced scorecard approach so that you can manage your operations in the best possible way. And of course, the branding challenge will be that finally the company is accountable. Finally, the company is accountable of managing its brand portfolio, isn't it? So these are some of the branding challenges which are actually happening. Now let us look at something. What is a brand equity concept? Can you hear me? Can all of you hear me? Although the video is off, I hope you're able to hear me now.
Yes, ma'am, we can hear
Right,
you.
thank you. So what are some of the branding, therefore, 1 second, let me just share the screen. Yeah, what are some of the implications about doing these? It's that after handling all these challenges and opportunities, you need to understand that finally the companies or set of companies are actually trying to build a brand equity. The brand equity concept is nothing but trying to ensure that your brand carries certain value, right? So what is brand? You know what is a brand. What is the brand standing for in a company? It stands to signal quality, certain things which will help in customer acquisition. What is the equity concept? The valuation concept, which means there is a role of the brand in the marketing strategy, and brand equity is defined in terms of the marketing effects that is attributable to the brand, which means what effect is your brand able to create in the market and get you the customers or get the top line and the bottom line coming in for the company, which means brand equity relates to the fact that different outcomes would result in the marketing of a product or service because of its brand name, as compared to if the same product or service did not have that name. So what if a soap has a name Dove? What if a soap has a name Lux versus a soap which you try to market, which has a name, say, ABC, right? So how is the name on a product or service impacting its customer acquisition or impacting certain outcomes? So typically every company is looking at not only the financial outcome, but of course it is looking at certain sustainable financial outcome. Of course, the outcomes today these days are not only measured in terms of economic or financial outcome. There's a triple bottom line concept. Triple bottom line means that you are focusing on the economic aspect of the outcome of your marketing of your products and services. The second outcome is the social outcome. Are you making sustainable products or marketing such that society benefits from your initiatives? And the third outcome is the environmental outcome, which means while marketing your products and services, you must not be creating any negative impact on the environment. So this triple bottom line concept was actually initiated and started by ITC. Okay, so which means the focus is not only on economic bottom line, but also on the social and the environmental aspect. And therefore, if you happen to have certain products, for example, when you have to make carbonated beverages, like what you see in the cases of Coca-Cola or Pepsi, carbonated beverages that have to be made with a lot of water, consumption, how does it impact the environment? Or for example, if you're creating, you're producing paints, and you're producing chemicals, how does the effluent out of your factory affect the environmental around your factory, the soils, the climate, all of that, right? So there are various kinds of impacts that are there. But finally, what is happening is the brand equity concept is the overriding concept, which helps the marketers understand whether they can actually get a value from their branding activities. That brings us to the next concept, which is called strategic brand management. All right, so strategic brand management, if you see the name per se, brand management is prefixed by the word strategic, which means building a strategy. So what is a strategy basically? Strategy is something like a kind of activity that you decide that needs to be done to achieve certain goals, right? The strategy of a company or the strategy of a division will try to set in place certain activities in order to achieve the purpose, aims, objectives, and goals. How you're going to execute that will be the aspect of a tactical plan. So the strategy or the strategic plan defines the broad nature of activities, the plans. The execution part of it is what is taken care of in the tactical part of it. So what is strategic brand management, therefore? It involves the design and implementation of the marketing programs and activities to build, measure, and manage brand equity. So there are three aspects of brand equity: building brand equity, measuring it, and managing it. We will see each of these in details going forward. We will conclude today's class with the strategic brand management process. So the following four sets of items are part of the process. So what is a strategic brand management process? It is involving four main steps. The first step is identifying and establishing the brand positioning and values. Second, planning and implementing the brand marketing programs. Third, measuring and interpreting brand performance. And fourth, growing and sustaining brand equity. All right, so which basically means that strategic brand management process, the process of strategic brand management starts from identifying and establishing a brand positioning and values. What is it that you want to position your brand as, and what should the value for the company be in terms of that particular brand? Second aspect would be to plan and implement. Planning is very important. It has to precede any execution, but planning per se will not be sufficient. It has to be subsequently followed up with absolutely tactical, flawless execution, which means implementing the programs. And what programs are these? Brand marketing programs. The third would be, once you do it, the contemporary marketing space focuses on identifying the returns on the investments that are being done. So which means what? It means that you need to be able to measure and interpret the brand performance. Am I getting the return on my investments? What kind of investments have I made, and what kind of returns am I expecting? Would I be able to measure the metrics, METRICS? So what are the metrics by which I will understand whether my marketing programs are being effective? They're meeting the purpose and also justifying the resource investments. Interpreting the brand performance. So what should the brand performance finally look like? And last but not the least, which is the fourth part of the process, would be growing and sustaining the brand equity, which means you need to grow the brands. And that is why exemplary companies like HUL, Procter & Gamble, Tanishq, ITC, the global companies like Coca-Cola, Apple, Google, Facebook, the big brands, why you need to know about them is because when you go and look at how they have managed their brands, their product marketing over the years, you realize what it takes to grow and sustain brand equity in the market, more so if you have multiple brands, right? So we will end today's class with this much. And if there is any kind of doubts, or in the next class. So we will stop here. And if there's any doubt now, you can of course address it right away. Otherwise, I will see you in the next